Hi, it's KCCK's Culture Crawl. I'm Dennis Green, and if it's the first part of June, it must be time to welcome Steve Shanley to the show for a regular series of previews of the Cedar Rapids Municipal Band. Steve, welcome.
Thank you. Good to be here, Dennis.
You get about a week and a half off after the end of school to relax, and then you're, boom, right into a busy summer schedule.
Yeah, but I love it. It's something different. And just having had the first rehearsal here this week, always a pleasure to work with some of the finest musicians in eastern Iowa.
Municipal bands all around the state are, differing complexions and constituencies, but you're right. Our municipal band here in Cedar Rapids is full of top-notch musicians.
It is. We're fortunate. Municipal bands or community bands tend to fall into two categories. There's the anyone can come and play, and then there's the auditioned and they make a small stipend by playing. And they're both great. I love both models, and I think we're fortunate to have both models here in the Cedar Rapids area. David Law leads the Marion Community Band, and that's open to anyone who wants to participate. And I, in fact, was a member of that when I was in high school. And I think he does a great job, and that's a wonderful thing. And then we've also got the Cedar Rapids Band, which is audition, and the members are paid. And so, yeah, we can attract some pretty strong players.
You've got a great selection starting off, featuring our friend and friend of KCCK, Bill Carson.
Yeah,
going to be and not only playing with the band, but also you're going to be performing Spoon River.
Yeah. Bill will be conducting this week. I realized unintentionally we've got Bill, Barbie, and Benny. So there's your title
okay.
for week one.
Show title.
Normally you have to come up with those on your own, but I thought I'd do you a solid and take care of this one for you. But yeah, Bill Carson is joining us, going to play clarinet on a Benny Goodman medley, and also conducting his edition of Percy Grainger's Spoon River, which for many years was kind of lost to the band world.
Yes, please tell the story of that.
Yeah, I won't tell it nearly as well as he would, but evidently the original manuscript was in the library at Coe College, and nobody knew this until Bill had discovered it. And when Bill figured out what he was sitting on at Coe, thought, well, we need to make sure that this gets out into the public and played. So he and Al Naylor, friend of KCCK as well, teamed up to put it into the computer and modernize it a little bit, fix some things, and get it published by Southern Music Company. And it's gone on to be a pretty popular piece. It was just performed at the Iowa Bandmasters Association conference a couple of weeks ago, and continues to get performances by professional bands and school bands around the world. So every, 6 or 7 years or so, we like to ask Bill to come in and conduct that one as well. So he'll be conducting that piece and then performing clarinet on the Benny Goodman medley as well.
Yeah, you're really working him.
I am. It's great. I joked with the band that on some weeks we'll have 2 guest artists, maybe 3 in an unusual week. This week we have 1, but he's doing 2 different things, conducting and playing, but we do not have to pay him double for it. So
Even better.
Ends up being a good deal for me. Yeah.
What else is on the program?
Well, as I mentioned, the third be Barbie, and it's a really nice arrangement of some of the music from the Barbie movie, and it's beautifully done. There's the I think, what was I made for? The Billie Eilish song that I think she wrote for that. The middle of that, and the way the arranger, let me think here, it was Michael Brown, I think, took care of that section especially. It's just beautiful, some really nice writing, and Billie Eilish, obviously a wonderful songwriter as well. So that was one that I think the musicians at first were like, okay, you're the Barbie music. And I was like, no, this is pretty challenging. There's some difficult rhythms, key signatures, things like that, and also just beautifully orchestrated. So that's pretty fun. We'll kick off on the Wednesday concert, which is at the History Center at 7:30, with Mayor O'Donnell guest conducting the 5 Seasons March, which the second permanent conductor of the band, Frank Pearsall, wrote in honor of our city of 5 seasons. So she'll be conducting that on Wednesday. On Sunday, She will not be able to join us, so any listeners who think they have exceptionally cute and charismatic little kids who might want to come up and guest conduct the band, they should show up on our Sunday concert at McGrath, and I will go through the audience and try and find a willing child participant to come up and flap their arms while the band plays Frank's March for that. Also, I should point out at the McGrath concert on Sunday, again, we start at 7:30, but the Cedar Rapids Metro Youth Wind Ensemble, which is an honor band made up of all of the area's finest high school musicians under the direction of Jared Wacker every year, and then usually a guest joins him. This year it's Chad Allard from Xavier High School. That group will perform at 6:30, and I heard them rehearsing on Monday night, and they sounded wonderful, playing a great medley of music from How to Train Your Dragon, and Jared always does such a great job with that group. So that will be 6:30 at the Sunday concert at McGrath, so show up early for that. We've also got the Gustav Holst for Suite in E flat, which is on kind of a 3 or 4 year rotation. That's one of the kingpins of the band repertoire, and always a fun one to play, and the band is sounding especially good on that one. I told them after we sight read it that was the best. The municipal band had sight read the first suite since I had started conducting about 15 years ago. And then kind of an off the beaten path John Philip Sousa march called Solid Men to the Front, which he wrote, I think, during World War I. So, you get your Washington Post and your Semper Fi and all of those very well known. And this one is just as beautifully crafted as all of his work is, but a little bit lesser known and with a cool tie to World War I. So, yeah, some good stuff we got.
So, okay, a musicology question for you, because this came up. I was at the Bandmasters Conference and got to hear the Marion Wind Ensemble perform the Spoon River, which if I've heard it, I'd kind of forgotten about it, and I really enjoyed it and looking forward to it again.
Yeah.
What is the difference between a concert band and a wind ensemble?
Kind of depends who you ask, but if we were to boil it down most simply, a wind ensemble, as Frederick Fennell kind of coined at Eastman, not quite 100 years ago, I suppose, would be smaller and one on a part, typically, or two players per part. So a concert band is likely going to have more players in it than a wind ensemble is going to have in it. And over time, that term has sort of been co-opted by various school organizations to kind of mean the top group or the best group. But I think at the heart of its original definition, it's, instead of a big band, it's a smaller ensemble.
So you get the concert schedule and an analysis of musicology terms.
Well, I'm just glad I knew the answer to that. When you said musicology question, I had flashbacks to needing to do comprehensive exams and was thinking quiz. Like, am I going to know the answer to this one? But
he was not
thankfully that was a softball
quiz.
That I actually could hit out of the park. So thanks for that one.
Cedar Rapids Municipal Band opens its season this week with concerts at the History Center on Wednesday and McGrath Amphitheater on Sunday, and the Metro Youth Wind Ensemble.
Yes.
Performing at the top of the concert on Sunday. If people want to look at the full schedule or want to make sure they're getting the updates for weather and things like that, what's the best way to follow the band online?
Facebook, if you are willing to throw your attention and money towards Meta, and Mark Zuckerberg is probably the most up-to-date. Rob Klein does a great job keeping that up-to-date and active, and then also our website, crmuniband.org, or if you just go on Google and search Cedar Rapids Band or Municipal Band, we'll show up right away.
All right. Well, come back next week, and we'll talk about week 2. All
right. Thanks, Dennis.
You can hear the Culture Crawl live on the radio most weekdays at 10:30, on demand at kcck.org/culture, or subscribe using your favorite podcast player. Watch our videos on the KCCK Facebook and YouTube channels. Our producer is Lydia Kilgore. The Culture Crawl theme is composed by Vivian Shanley. I'm Dennis Green, and I'll talk to you later.